guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for pulling up. If you can, please, love to see more of my content. Just please like and share and subscribe. Absolutely. So let's get things going. Let's get it popping. So as you can see here, we got some Abba and Preach today, and looks like it's a lot going on here. So basically, I'm not going to show the entire video, but you can always pull up onto Abba and Preach's channel. Please subscribe to their channel. They are awesome. I absolutely love these guys. They come with the real. They do not sugarcoat, and that's what we need more so in this world, okay? So let's get into why we are here. Simply put, DJ Akademics is in some hot water due to some very nasty things that he was saying on Discord to a young minor. And, you know, I already know what that's going to be. So I'm not going to show too much, but let's get into it.
Stuff when they was in 13, 12. A lot of them was up. A lot of pedo stuff.
It's like if it was a girl, I get it. A kid that we're saying, yo, you go a girl, like I get it. He's underage, but I'm sorry. You can get mad all you want, bro. I'm sorry. Y'all get mad all you want.
So I guess Ack thinks that
it's okay.
Pedo stuff is fine if it's a boy.
Yeah.
That's essentially what he just said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if it's a girl, this is unacceptable. It's beyond the pale because sexuality would probably harm her at that age. You don't think it does the same thing for boys? Go talk to a bunch of guys who was out there getting laid and doing stuff when they was in their 13, 12. A lot of them was up. A lot of them got weird relationship with sexuality.
Now, he is definitely not lying. When you get introduced to that at an early age, it does cause problems in the future for you. And I've noticed it with old friends, you know, people that I used to hang around with. They were very promiscuous, were having sex at a very, very young age. The high school that I went to, because my high school was in Long Beach. I mean, every year we had at least 4 or 5 girls. So for my 4 years, 4 or 5 girls that were pregnant, teenage pregnancy. I mean, it was like running rampant at the school that I went to, the high school I went to. And yeah, it's a lot of those girls now, they do have issues. They're either out there on the block, or they just sleeping around just to be sleeping around, cheating. None of them have gotten married or stayed in stable relationships. All of it was very unstable. So, and that's just for both girls. That's for both women and for men as well. Young men that also go through this, I can see them having some psychological issues, being introduced to sex at such an early age, because we don't know nothing about it. We have no idea what it's really meant to be or for. Just, you know, and as I said before in another video that I had, I told you before that another video that I posted where I was reacting to Agent 00, his vid on the girl who wanted to sleep with over 100 men. She had also admitted that she was very promiscuous in college. I do believe she probably, when she was younger as well, had no knowledge and then just decided, hey, I guess I can do whatever I want. There's no harm done to it. And the truth of the matter is there's a lot of harm to it. If you don't understand it, you don't know it, and you're not having those conversations where you should talk about it with your parents or a parent or a sex educator to be able to let you know about what sex really is and why it's important for you to stay abstinent, or at least be celibate, protect yourself. You know, there's many ways to be able to deal with, you know, natural feelings that we have as human beings. But when it happens at a young age, we don't understand it at all. And the world wants to tell us what to do. And society, we already know what it is. So let's continue.
And it's still illegal. Just because you feel like it's a good thing to be a dysfunctional adult who can't keep his dick in his pants does not mean it's good for other people. And always notice, like, the guys who are trying to tell you this shit's not fine, it's normal, don't have normal dating lives. There are people who are always caught up in scandals, sex workers, can't keep a relationship, don't have no functioning families, they're the ones who are telling you this kind of behavior if you're young is okay. The people who are fucked up, this is like, I don't know. This is just like taking discipline advice from a drug addict, and they're like, nigga, just do what you want when you were a kid. Just smoke that pipe. It's like, are we serious right now?
I guess that's what it is.
And a lot of people grew up with this mentality. They think that because it's men and young boys that are involved, that they're going to be fine no matter what happens to them in their teen years.
Yeah, you see, and this is something that's really, really bad. I mean, everybody always want to focus on girls. Oh, you got to protect the young girls and this, that, and the third. But men don't get a lot of help that they need, especially in their younger years. We have a lot of people here in the States, a lot of young men that are growing up without fathers. You have a lot of them that are not getting the sex talk from their fathers, or at least a responsible male figure in their homes. So when they go out into the world, everybody already tells them to their face that, oh yeah, men don't know how to control themselves, and men don't know how to keep their D's in their pants and all this different stuff. So they already grow up with the mentality that, oh, I'm low-key a sleazeball, so I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and go for it. And then on top of that, their peer pressure is way different than women's peer pressure, for sure. I know that growing up, me being growing up as a woman, of course, it wasn't really having to be hard pressed to go and sleep with somebody. But for men, it's a different story. It's like you get told by any and everyone that comes around, like, hey, yo, you got to get this girl, you got to lose your virginity, you got to do this, that, and the third. And it's absolutely crazy. And again, without any real knowledge about what sex is truly meant for, and how to manage it, how to manage yourself, how to have self-control, things of that nature. I mean, you have to be taught that. You have to be taught self-control. And unfortunately, with a lot of young men today, they're not being taught self-control. They're not being taught about abstinence. They're not being taught about being safe. They're just told to, hey, you're a man. This is what you do. This is who you are. And he's absolutely right. Abba is right. A lot of these men do grow up to be dysfunctional. They're not doing well dating wise. And this could also be another reason as to why the dating scene is so horrible right now. It could also be because the way that this generation views sex, it's absolutely wild. And it's probably, I do believe it's the reason why dating is not working out. People are no longer wanting to be in wholesome, good relationships. Because again, they've been told their whole lives by society, by their friends, even family members, that it's okay to do whatever you want sexually. You can't. There is rules to the game.
And that's why a lot of you be neglecting these kids or f***ing them up. That's why we're getting all these stories about female teachers now.
Yeah.
So many female teachers who bang.
It doesn't matter. It's a boy.
And a lot of guys like, well, I wish that was my teacher. You think that. Even I used to think like that because I grew up with the same influences you motherfuckers did. But you know what I realized? All those people who I ever heard say that shit, they were dysfunctional when it came to their discipline and their dating lives. Almost every single one had cases of infidelity. They had cases of not being able to trust women. They had cases of not being able to be disciplined and not cheat. So it's just like, all the people who were counseling me and really obsessed with my sex life or the sex life of young boys, all of them had issues. And you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who did a lot of this kind of banging around in their young years and came out okay. I'm not saying they all doing this weird shit, but are actually having functional dating lives as an adult. So I just wanted to say that about what this part is.
It's a kid, bro. It's a kid, but he's a male. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Nobody was trying to. Where does that?
Okay, so this is the part where I didn't show the beginning to it, but basically Akademics was being really, really disgusting towards a 15-year-old boy. I guess they were on Discord and they were playing video games and stuff like that. And him and another guy, mind you, these are grown men, are saying sexually explicit things to this young man, this young boy, okay, and saying very nasty and inappropriate things to him. And it was recorded, and somebody went and told people about it and stuff like that, of course. And now that he's getting a lot of hate for it. So I'm not going to play it, but I just want to give you context as to what he's trying to explain, because this is his video of him of Academics trying to explain himself as to why he said the things that he said. And honestly, this is just as disgusting.
I was asking him, do you with women?
No, you did not. No, you did not. You said you want me to be next to you. How about me being inside?
Yo, you always wanted me to be next to you. Now I could be inside of you. Pause.
No, you.
Again, you saw disgusting. Why as a grown man do you think that that's funny to say to a young boy? That is disgusting.
Did not just say that. And even if you did, it doesn't make it better. But you did not just do that. Let's not act like it was a, hey, man, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not, you know what I mean? Yes, you did. Let's not act like that was not what happened. There's a whole recording. Don't act like it's some he say, she say. It's you that said that and when it was cut in 4K. Okay? Okay. Pedo shit. That's great. Okay. All right.
All right. Since then, Academics has lost his Twitch partnership. He's been banned. Some of his sponsors from Stake have gotten rid of him. Apparently, there's more stuff coming down the pipes. Pause. And let's keep listening.
And it's no, wait a minute. It's funny because it's always these type of people that always talk about, oh, you know, they're trying to groom our kids into gay stuff. They trying to do this. There's a gay agenda. All the whole hip hop world is like, yeah, the whole hip hop world is like there's some gay agenda with this and this trying to do this and that and the third. And it's you.
And I'm just gonna say, a lot of people who were disagreeing with me on the Drake stuff and saying, yo, it's not weird for a grown man in his mid-30s to be texting girls about dating advice when they're 14.
And this is crazy because I saw that in the comment section. Like when Ab and Preach were talking about the whole Drake stuff that was coming out, especially the big beef that was going on between Kendrick and Drake, everybody came for them in the comment section. Like all the Drake stands came for them, and I single-handedly saw all of that. It was pretty wild. It was really wild. And I'm just like, bro, if you're going along with it and you're saying this is okay, I would have to call you into question too. If you actually believe that it's fine for him to be texting young girls, messaging young ladies, like, nah. I have to question you, because that says a lot. You agree with it.
And it's not strange for Drake to want to involve himself with a lot of younger girls that he ends up banging when they're 18. You guys are fucking weirdos.
Yep.
And every single person who I've seen come defend this vociferously are either one, huge fucking stands who don't want to see it and know that they would be very uncomfortable if it was their relatives or their daughters being involved with these older gentlemen.
Or even their boys.
Okay, or the people who do this exact same behavior themselves every single time. Or they want to keep their access to Drake and make sure they're on good terms. But like, there's no business. You listen, another part of this whole dynamic that people haven't spoken about that I'm going to say, and I'll be the first one to probably say it at this point, okay? Celebrities or influencers and these Discord chat rooms are a problem because you start talking to random people who are constantly trying to gas you up and impress you, and they're saying the most weird fucking zany shit.
That is very true. I was on Discord a few years ago, and it was during the pandemic. So this was at a time where, nobody could really go and talk and see each other or whatever. And I was going through a lot at this time as well. Like there was so much that was happening in my life. I was really lonely, things like that. I was like definitely isolated. So I went on a Discord. It was a YouTuber actually, and I paid for his Patreon and everything. And I tried to come to him with my issues, things like that. And he was like, oh yeah, just go ahead and put it in the main chat, put it in the general chat. Now, I didn't know anything about Discord. I've never been in a chat room before, so I had no idea of how things move. I had no idea on how things would go or what, how to manage it, So I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. I don't know if I really want a whole lot of people to know my issues, things like that. So I don't know. I didn't feel too comfortable, but I guess he had a women's chat in there, so I went to that one, and yeah, it was just a whole lot. But afterwards, I was like, okay, maybe I could try to, I don't know, act like I'm cool or whatever, and it's just stupid. Just say I was one of those people who was trying to impress other people, not saying anything sexual for real. Well, no. Let me take it back. I did a couple times. I did a couple times, and I know I'm shameful. Okay. But the only time I ever really did talk about it, because I never brought it up myself, it's just if it was brought up by somebody else, then I would talk about it with them. Because it's chat room. Nonetheless, a lot of the men though that he's talking about right now, a lot of them there was a lot of dudes in there that were always being sexual. It would come up in the chats. It would come up in different chat rooms because there's always different chat rooms in the Discord and stuff. And somebody would bring it up. Somebody would post a meme, and it'll get real disrespectful as well. So he's not lying. And yeah, they are trying to impress. They're trying to impress the women, the ladies, by saying disgusting things and stuff like that. It's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
And you're saying in this echo chamber where you as an influencer are always adorned. You got a bunch of yes men. And these people are losers. Genuine speaking, the people who stay in these Discord rooms all the time trying to appease these celebrities are genuinely losers. I know, because one of the first things that they try to do with you when they're in these rooms is to try to impress you. But because they have no personality or nothing else going for them, you know what they do? They talk about sex shit. And because they're losers who don't have real sex lives, they say weird sex stuff. Say stuff they've never done, that they will never do, because nobody's ever going to look at their smegma full dicks, okay? All these dirty people, right, that spend these time in these chat rooms saying sexual shit, don't get no pussy. None of them do.
He is absolutely right. He is definitely right. When I was on the Discord server, like I said before, you had a ton of dudes who will single-handedly just sit there and talk about, oh yeah, I did this, I did that, and it sounds like clown sugar honey iced tea. Like seriously. And I think to myself, like, what is up with these men? Like, what is wrong with them? And it's not all of them, of course. It wasn't all the men on the Discord, because you did have some men who would put a stop to and be like, hey, let's not talk about like that, or let's not get disrespectful. So you do have some dudes over there that would clock them if they got a little too inappropriate. But he's absolutely right. They'll say some weird stuff. They'll talk about feet. They'll talk about, oh yeah, like I like getting doing stuff with feet, or I got this kind of fetish and this, that, and the third. I just be sitting there like, what? Like, that's weird. That's weird, bro. That is so weird. But let's continue.
Because when they talk about sex, it's so awkward. It's like, bro, nobody does what you're describing, okay? But they stay in these rooms, and then all of a sudden, these influencers start talking like them. They're like, oh, these my buddies. I'm going to just say this goofy ass shit too.
They like that, so I'm gonna do that. That's what sometimes influencers do. That they really want to appease their crowd.
Yeah.
So they please their crowd, and they join. Well,
yeah, but see, what makes a good content creator, and I hope I'm one of them. I hope so. But I think what makes a good content creator or a good influencer is when you do not allow certain things to go or fly by with your people, the folks that that love you, care about you, or not care about you. You know what I mean. I think what makes a good content creator is knowing when to say stop, especially when people are getting out of hand, when people are getting really disrespectful, when people are doing weird sugar honey iced tea, all that. I think it would behoove them to do that. If you're just going along with it because you're just all for the money and you're willing to allow inappropriate things to happen within your own crowd, I think that makes you a terrible influencer. You're okay with bad behavior. You're okay with promoting bad behavior, because that's essentially promoting bad behavior by not calling it out and letting people know, hey, look, you want to be a fan of mine? That's cool. Don't get disrespectful. Don't be inappropriate. all these things. Got to watch out for all that. And Abba and Preach are definitely known for that, for sure. They have a pin of shame. Everybody calls it the pin of shame in the comment section because they call out people who say stupid stuff, and they let it be known. So, and they even say it within their content, in their videos. I've seen their videos long enough to know that they call it out. They will call out their own fans and tell them like, hey, some of y'all is disrespectful. Cut it out. That's why I have a lot of respect for these guys.
I think that's what the crowd do. A bit like what TV does as well. You know what I mean? Or we think that's what the people in the general public likes. So we're going to push that onto them. And then they do the same thing with their crowd. That's weird. That's weird.
And the thing about it is a lot of these influencers also don't got much personality themselves. They made it great, but once they start sitting in these areas, they're trying to connect with these faceless people who have no personalities. And then the only way they can really do it is by saying weird, goofy ass sex stuff or joining in on these kind of weird campaigns of trolling. Because that's the only way these people can connect with each other online. This is also part of a symptom of having relationships with people who are only online. Because guess what? If these people were face to face with each other, they would never feel as confident, as brazen, and say a lot of this goofy.
Yes. So not to put my family business out there, but I do have someone in my family who single-handedly lives online. And I mean, won't leave the house type of thing. Or the only time he will leave the house is if he's going to go get some food. But other than that, he don't go anywhere. He don't go on dates. He don't date nobody, nothing. Okay? And I mean, I know for a fact that when he's addressed with things like, let's say, you go off on him because he did something that's messed up and you call him out for it. He wants to act tough, but he's not tough. The reason why, and what I mean by that is like, because I've had this issue with him. Okay, again, I'm not gonna say who it is, but it is a family member, and he'll go off on people online all day. Like he'll like, oh, I'm gonna come to your house, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and he's like extremely disrespectful. He gets loud with them, he cusses them out, and he seems really tough. But then let me come and say something like, hey, you need to stop doing this crap. You being disrespectful. Stop messing with me. Stop doing this and the third. He will cower and he won't say anything. In fact, he will run back to his room and go back and play video games again. Okay. So he is absolutely right. A lot of these dudes, because again, I grew up with one. A lot of these dudes will single-handedly sit in their room in the dark, playing video games all day, and then they talk to people online, and then they have all of a sudden this confidence, and they have these conversations about bull crap. And I notice a lot of the red pillars, the so-called red pillars, the extremist side of them, a lot of them are those type of dudes. They will sit there online, talk trash about women, talk mess about how, well, men are everything and we're the prize and this and that. I've heard these conversations because of the person that I'm talking about. And they seem so confident when they talk about it, but then in truth, they don't date. They don't leave their rooms. They don't go anywhere. They don't do anything. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not trying to put too much of his business out there like that, but this is real. This is very real. You got a lot of dudes out there who speak a big game when they're on the internet, but then behind closed doors, they don't do half the thing, not even half. They don't do 90% of the stuff that they claim. Straight up.
Yeah, shit. Because most of them who are in these rooms are losers. So anyways, that's my little rant about Discord chat rooms and people who love saying goofy ass sexual shit online. It is one of the most cringe things I've ever seen because I discovered Discord through the pandemic and it made me realize that people get on.
Same. I did too. It was definitely during the pandemic. Yeah.
Online and pretend to be something they're not every single day. And it's like if you do get laid or you have been laid, you don't talk like that.
No.
But why are you guys the ones who get zero poop always out here discussing this topic?
You know what? It reminds me of when I was in.
Again, he's not lying. Okay, he's definitely on it. He's telling the truth. I'm telling you, a lot of these dudes are stuck in their bedrooms. They will not go, whether it's their mama's bedroom, grandma's bedroom, not bedroom, but mama's basement, grandma house, things type of situation. A lot of these dudes don't even leave and get out into society and touch grass single-handedly. I'm telling you, it's true. It's real. It's very true.
High school and
Was
elementary
it?
school. When end of elementary school, we talk about sex with our friends and stuff like that. And I remember like the minute in my end of elementary, you think you know what you're doing and everything. It's like, you think you know what you're talking about. So you talk about this whole everything makes you think about that, or you say some wild shit. Haha, it's funny because you don't really know. Fast forward high school, mid-high school, I get with my girlfriend, and then boom, it stopped. Because I had my relationship, and I was like, I had my first relation, and it was like, it's like if it kind of left my body because I kind of knew what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, there kind of was like this sense of, nah, that's just kids shit. We don't talk like that no more. We're gonna respect this and that. I don't talk about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is a switch from when you haven't done anything and you just think you're funny and this and that, but it's really just because you are uncomfortable
with yourself
and with the perception that you have of the world and the sexual world and stuff like that. So you just don't do this thing. Instead of being comfortable, I'm gonna make people uncomfortable so I don't have to deal with it. So it makes me think of that whenever they talk wild like that. It's like, no, you haven't done none of those things.
None.
Shut up.
None.
You don't act like that right now. You cosplaying. And you know how I know? It's because I did those things and it don't feel none like what you're describing. So you don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Oh, you know when you go in the beach and it feels like Jello? You've never been to the beach. It don't feel like Jello. Not once.
Yep.
Okay? You haven't experienced that.
You know what it's like? This is like when people have shock humor just for the sake of shock humor, because it's like the most inflammatory thing and it gets people's reaction. Doesn't require any effort to be funny. Doesn't require any skill. You're just going to say the most. Cut that shit off early, but that's what I hear. When I listen to act in these groups of guys, okay? Do I honestly believe that these guys were trying to bang this kid? No. Does it really matter that much? Absolutely not. To me, not really. Why? Because you're still talking to a young man and you may influence him to actually go get involved with an adult. You are still grooming him, whether you intended to or not. Okay? But what it makes me remind me of is all the chat rooms I used to see when I went into some of these Discords. And I was like, is this how you losers engage with the online world? Go outside and stop getting online to not pretend to be something you're not. You're not cool. You're not funny. Even though these people are kicking and laughing right now, they're going to forget about you the moment they log off or they disconnect from this Discord permanently. Mm-hmm. Stop it. You're losers. Let's go listen to Axe apology.
Like I said, no sugarcoating, especially with ABBA, okay? There is no sugarcoating, and I'm here for it. And he's absolutely right. And like I said, from my own personal experience, I've definitely seen it. I've engaged as well. Like I was also someone who, at the time, I was very lonely. I wasn't talking to anybody. And yeah, I was one of those people who were trying to impress on others and trying to make friends and even making up things to make myself sound cool. And I probably sounded like a complete and total idiot. I'm not even going to front. I'm just being completely honest. I just feel like, you know, a lot of these chat rooms are really there for people who don't really go out much. I mean, if you learn more of your social skills when you're actually out meeting people, learning expressions, learning different behaviors, or how to deal with different behaviors, all these different things. In fact, just on a personal note, there was a point in time in my life where I was homeless, and I used to live in hostels. Where I'm sharing a room with like 10 other people. And I learned more on how to deal with different personalities in that kind of environment because I'm actually dealing with it head on more than I did being on a Discord, more than I did being in a chat room. Chat room, you can single-handedly be whoever you want to be, unfortunately, when it comes down to the internet world. But when you actually go out into the world and you experience things, you gain knowledge, you gain everything. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I'm going to actually end it on this note. Thank you guys for coming through. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please, again, if you want to see more content, you want to see more or hear more things that I got going on, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have anything that you want me to discuss and talk about, share my thoughts on, please go ahead and place it into the comment section below, and I will definitely do that. So again, I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good one. Peace and blessings.